Our top stories. Global transport leaders urge UN to end humanitarian crisis. President Duterte approves face-to-face in maritime education. AMOSUP leads campaign against ambulance chasing. Welcome to Marine World Weekend. I am Lynn Bacani. International road, air, and sea organizations and unions have called on the world's heads of governments gathered at the United Nations General Assembly to end a global humanitarian and supply chain crisis. In an open letter published on the day of UN General Assembly's General Debate in New York, the International Road Transport Union or IRU, International Air Transport Association or IATA, International Chamber of Shipping or ICS, and International Transport Workers Federation or ITF made an urgent plea to the world's heads of governments to restore freedom of movement to transport workers. The letter calls for transport workers to be given priority to receive WHO-recognized vaccines, the creation of a standardized process for demonstrating health credentials, and the WHO and ILO to raise these issues at the UN General Assembly and with national governments. The letter underscores that all transport sectors are also seeing a shortage of workers and expect more to leave as a result of the poor treatment millions have faced during the pandemic, putting the supply chain under greater threat. ICS Secretary General Guy Platten says, in line with this year's theme of human rights and resilience, the UN and heads of states should finally take the decisive and coordinated action to resolve this crisis, given the indescribable levels of resilience that the transport workers have shown in the face of immense hardship. For his part, ITF Secretary General Stephen Cotton warned that the heads of governments will be responsible for the collapse of supply chains and the unnecessary deaths and suffering of workers and citizens caught in the crisis if they will not respond to the workers' needs, who have worked through border closures, an inability to return home, a lack of access to health care, restrictive quarantine requirements, and the complete uncertainty born from government ineptitude. Face-to-face classes in the country's delivery of maritime education will resume soon. President Rodrigo Duterte has approved the conduct of the limited face-to-face classes in maritime programs such as BS in Maritime Transportation and BS Marine Engineering. The announcement was made by Chief Engineer Alfredo Habok, consultant to the Commission on Higher Education and member of the STCW Advisory Committee or SAC during the Women in Maritime Philippines or WIMAPhil webinar as part of the nation's observance of the National Maritime Week. The face-to-face classes include the laboratory courses and practical classes for basic training or BT, which are included in the maritime curriculum. However, Habok said CHED shall issue the implementing rules and regulations or IRR before the schools can apply for the face-to-face classes. The schools will also be subjected to the evaluation of CHED, the local government units or LGUs, and the Department of Health or DOH.
I am happy to announce that as of September 21, 2021, the Office of the President approved the limited face-to-face delivery of the maritime education program, maritime programs, BSMT and BS Marie. What is the impact of that? That means they are just waiting for the final issuance of CHED on the implementing rules and regulation then uh, schools now can apply individually to be able to implement the limited face-to-face, and the school will be evaluated by the joint team of the local LGU, DOH, and CHED. So for those students who have not taken the BT practical side, you can do it now once that CHED IR will be issued. That means also that those students who did not finish the practical side of the laboratory will be able to board.
Up next, AMOSUP leads campaign against ambulance chasing. Marina and WMU sign agreement on academic and technical cooperations.
What if I tell you that KSIM Connect has become a reality? It is the cloud-based ecosystem for maritime education and training, where Kongsberg provides simulation and services to all members. As an instructor, my main goal is to educate and train seafarers to acquire skills promoting safety, sustainability, and efficiency at sea. At KSIM Connect, I can efficiently manage my simulators, my exercises, and my students. In the exercise archive, I can store my library of exercises, and if I want, collaborate and share them with my colleagues or others in the global community. KSIM Connect enables me to give students access to cloud simulation, so they can train anytime and anywhere while learning at their own pace. In addition, I can explore the library of models and exercise areas, download or subscribe those that fit the learning objectives. And I can even order spare parts or a service visit if needed. Kongsberg has started to create the future of maritime education and training by creating the community where instructors can find news, explore and download available simulator models, distribute or share exercises that fit the curriculum. Imagine using KSIM Connect to integrate our simulators in the same virtual exercise environment, enabling students to train and interact together. It doesn't matter whether you're in Singapore, Australia, or in the United States. As long as you're online, you are part of the knowledge-sharing community. Kongsberg is shaping the future of maritime education and training by creating the community. Let's continue building this community together for the benefit of ourselves and the entire maritime training industry. Join KSIM Connect today.
Mariana Academy of Maritime Studies. Full STCW assessment for seafarers. One-stop shop. Unique with mapped-up bridge. Mariana Academy of Maritime Studies stands firm on its commitment on training and assessment despite challenges of the pandemic. The Associated Marine Officers and Seamen's Union of the Philippines, or AMOSUP, is leading the industry's campaign against ambulance chasing. AMOSUP, together with the National Maritime Polytechnic, or NMP, and International Seamen's Welfare Assistance Network, or ISWAN, have recently developed and virtually launched an information drive dubbed Karapatan Sama-samang Ingatan, an awareness campaign to protect the rights of the seafarers. The project is also in collaboration with the concerned government agencies such as Philippine Overseas Employment Administration, or POEA, Maritime Industry Authority, or MARINA, National Labor Relations Commission, or NLRC, and National Conciliation and Mediation Board, or NCMB. NCR data on decided cases concerning Filipino seafarers for the period 2015-2017 showed medical repatriation as the bulk of cases, comprising around 97.32% or 399, with only 2.68% or 11 for other causes of action. Judgment awards to the seafarers totals to around 1.9 billion pesos. Through the project, NMP will produce video clip presentations on the laws affecting seafarers' employment with a briefer on ambulance chasing. Helpline contacts for go-to-government agencies, unions, organizations from whom they can seek assistance will also be established. The campaign will also be incorporated in the pre-departure orientation seminars, or PDOS, played on board and posted on websites of relevant government agencies, maritime organizations, seafarers unions, and in strategic places in seaports and airports. AMOSUP President Dr. Conrad Oca stressed that the global pandemic crisis should not hinder us from fighting for the rights and welfare of the Filipino seafarers. In fact, efforts should be doubled, and the related government agencies, private sector, and social partners should collaborate together to ensure employment opportunities for the Filipino seafarers.
Unfortunately, however, aside from the dangers they are facing on the high seas, Filipino seafarers are confronted with another problem when they return home, medically ill or injured or even dead because of or in connection with employment: the ambulance chasers. Ambulance chasing involves the act of soliciting money from seafarers or their heirs who are pursuing monetary claims against their employers. This is in exchange for money or a fee in case an award is granted to the seafarer. This is a pressing concern for our Filipino seafarers engaging the services of unscrupulous individuals who would entice the seafarers by exaggerating the case and the amount that they can be claimed in exchange for legal fees. They may charge more than 10% as required by law through their agents or representatives who convince them to seek a legal opinion and refer them to these individuals. This fee may even range as high as 20 to 50%, depending on the complexities of the case. A pressing concern indeed, as this is one of the reasons why there are a lot of unreasonable claims made by seafarers which could affect their employment. Principals may tend to choose other nationalities to avoid dealing with these rampant unreasonable claims influenced by these ambulance chasers, whose intention is to deceive them and to make their unfortunate condition a money-making venture.
The Maritime Industry Authority, or MARINA, has signed an agreement with the World Maritime University, or WMU, on academic and technical cooperations. The Memorandum of Understanding or MOU was signed by Marina Administrator Vice Admiral Robert M. Pedrad and WMU President Dr. Cleopatra Dumbia Henry via virtual ceremony. Former Marina Administrator and now WMU's Director for PhD Program, Dr. Max Mejia Jr., and Marina OIC Deputy Administrator for Planning Attorney Jean Verpia both presented the salient features of the MOU. The agreement allows for areas of cooperation between the partners on the field of maritime education and training, capacity building activities, field training opportunities for WMU students, and the possibility of Marina funding staff to attend the Master of Science degree or MSc program in Malmo.
It is extremely important that bond, education and training, capacity building, is critical if particularly developing countries around the world want to ensure that they have a key, strong place in the maritime industry. Philippines is the world's #1 supplier of seafarers around the world. Without them, and particularly considering the impact of COVID-19 has had on them, without them, the world trade would have come to a standstill. And they have borne the brunt of the challenges at sea, well beyond the term and the period of service, to continue to make shipping move the world.
I understand that you did not only educate them, but gave them good relationships, good character, which for me, I believe, is a needed attribute of a leader in the maritime industry. As we serve 900,000 Filipino seafarers, as mentioned by the President, we are #1 in providing seafarers globally. As we serve 900,000 of them, as we serve 30,000 ships, 100 shipyards, 100 training institutions and assessment centers, and even 91 maritime higher education and institution, I think capacitating our personnel in WMU is a no-brainer. Pandemic will not stop us from sending future leaders to the WMU.
Next on Maritime Viewpoints, Ms. Gisa Paredes, Chief Operating Officer of Well at Sea, talks about mental health program for our seafarers. Thank you for watching Marino World Weekend. Stay tuned on Marino World Online for more maritime news and views. I am Lynn Bacani. Stay safe.